Hello.
Lady Bernard, I just sent you that PDF.
Thank you. I appreciate
Mhm.
it.
You weren't the only one that had problems, so I'll just keep sending it to
Good.
whoever asks for it.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So who do we have on now? Okay.
I'm here, Sister Patty.
Okay. All right. Our secretaries, are they here? I know Lindsay says she might be a little late. The mayor says she'll be a little late. Okay. There's Commissioner Frank. How are you today? You're gonna be standing in for Lindsay until she gets here. Okay.
Yep, I'm just getting the documents pulled up now so I can do that.
Okay, good deal. Okay, as soon as you do that, then we'll get started. We have a good group, but we need to, and something I left off of the agenda was the minutes, approval of the 3 minutes. So we'll do that. Okay. All right.
All right, I think we're good. Ready for roll call?
Okay, what I'll call the meeting to order at 5:31 p.m. and we will have the roll call. The mayor will be coming later. We
Okay.
can't hear you. Okay,
All right, is my mic on now?
yes.
All right, so Mayor Heath will be here later.
Mhm.
Commissioner Bernard,
Present.
Commissioner Ramos,
Oh, I can barely hear some. I think that was my name. I am here. So.
Commissioner Ramos is here.
Lindsay's
Patton
gonna be late.
will be late.
Hmm.
Commissioner Frank is present. Commissioner Boone. Not here yet. Commissioner Barron,
Here.
Commissioner Carter,
Here.
Commissioner Harvat.
Here.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
Okay, so we're gonna get started with two of them being a little bit later, and they will be coming. So when they come in, then we'll count them in, okay? They won't be absent. All right, so what I left off of the minutes, the agenda, was the minutes for the pre-meeting on last month, on the 22nd. So I need a motion for the minutes.
I move that we approve the pre-meeting minutes of September 22nd.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been properly motioned and second. So are you ready for the roll call?
I just go through the ones that are here, right?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
So this is a motion to approve the September minutes.
22nd. Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Bernard,
Yes.
Commissioner Frank, yes. Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramos,
Yes.
Commissioner Harvat.
Yes.
All right. So the approval of the minutes are done. All right, so the next business that we have is going to be the old business, completing the 2020-21 calendar of events. And I have them listed A, B, C. And the first one is Bridging the Divide. Let's get that. Commissioner Frank, you want to tell us a little bit more about what we're doing and the questions we were supposed to have for this meeting. If we don't have questions, we will get that together and give them to the participants. So Bridging the Divide, tell us what we're doing on the 19th of October. I mean, November 19th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, that will be a forum, probably likely Zoom still, right?
Yes, we'll be
Like-
on Zoom. Mhm.
So it will be a community or a forum, kind of facilitating a conversation between local law enforcement and the community. We have questions from the police, from the sheriff's department, and we have 2 officers and Chief Emmerich from the APD. And then we have a couple judges, you said, Commissioner
Mhm.
Bernard?
Yes.
So I have the question.
We have a sitting judge and a retired judge. Your sound is going in and out.
There he is. So I have the questions from the law enforcement side, and I've sent those to you, and then I think I came up with a question for the judges specifically, but it'll be more of an open dialogue. Like the questions are more to kind of like steer the conversation. So, but it's not like real strict, like I don't know, like an interview or something. It's more of a
Right.
conversation dialogue. kind of.
Open dialogue. Okay, good. All right, how many attended the one for the NAACP last Thursday? I was on that with the candidates forum. that they did last week with Tim Wahlberg and um, his opponent. How many attended that? Anybody? Well, I did, and Judge Joe was the moderator, and he did an excellent job. He's one of the retired judges that works at Siena Heights University. He's going to be on there. So I was thinking possibly that we could get him to be the moderator for us this time, if we could. So I guess we'll finalize everything and get that together. We also are waiting for Commissioner D'Angelo Boone to give us questions from the young people. He was supposed to be that person.
Yep, I have those. I just got to get them typed up and get them over to you.
Okay, you're here. All right, good. Okay, so if you email them to me and also CC me and send them to Commissioner Frank. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Dylan, you wanted to say something? Put your mic on. You're
Oh, no, I
you're
was-
muted.
I didn't have anything to say.
Okay, I thought you were raising your hand. Okay, so we will have those questions put in. Do we have any of the young people coming, Commissioner Boone?
I have one or two that's interested in attending it. I told them that I'd get back to them, get them the information as far as where to attend or how to attend. So, but I do have one or two.
It's going to be on Zoom, and so all of us need to invite people because all of us are going to be participating with law enforcement, and it's mainly for us to get the community and us together. So we only have a few more weeks to put that together. So let's get on that. All right, all of us, meaning sharing the information, letting people know that we can get on. And Michelle will send us the link and we can get it out to people, but you just let them know that we're going to have it on the 19th. Okay.
Okay.
And it says 6 o'clock. It's 6 to 8. So it's a 2-hour event. We also have someone from the prosecutor's office going to be attending it as well. So if you have someone that's interested in coming and being a part of it, please let them know about it. Okay. All right, any other questions or if anyone have any questions for the police or the law enforcement? We will have the ear of the sheriff, we will have the ear of the chief of police and some of the officers. So now is the time to ask those questions and get them out there. So just let me know, and if you can get that to me this week or by the beginning of next week, I would appreciate it so we can get them listed and get them to our attendees, our speakers. Okay. All right. The next event that we're going to be talking about is the meeting with the mayor. The mayor has, I attended a couple of meetings, one with the governor's office. She has her chaplain met with a lot of the pastors in the state, and she had opportunity to speak to us and let us know what was going on. So the big thing that's going on right now for her is the individuals that's trying to get rid of her, trying to kill her, trying to lock her up or whatever they're trying to do. And so she asked the pastors to pray for her and pray for her family and pray for the safety of her family. And so in that meeting, also there were other pastors that have been having meetings with their constituents in their city. And they actually had me be a part of one of them in Inkster. And it was called Meeting with the Luncheon. And it was really, really a good opportunity to hear what the mayor had to say, and also for him to hear what we had to say about the issues that are going on in their community. So the mayor, our mayor, Mayor Heath, said it would be a good idea for us to do that here. So I've contacted several pastors, Pastor Boone and Pastor Carter. I did not get a hold of you all. I just wrote you down as opportunity to be a part of it. It's going to be December the 1st. I want all of you write it down, December the 1st at 12 noon to 1 o'clock. It's a 1 hour meeting that the mayor is going to meet, and we're going to meet at the chambers. We're going to be socially distancing, and we're going to have it also available for a Zoom part. So people who
Okay.
can't come to the meeting itself would be able to, HRC members can see it. And it is a meeting that she's going to be hosting, and I'm just going to be pretty much present there with the pastors as well. So if you would like to be a part of that, Pastor Boone, if you can, I know you work during the day. Pastor Carter, if you can, please, we'd love to have you be a part of that. So let me know if that date works for you and the time. Now, what she also said is it's a possibility of having more than one meeting with the pastors. And right now I have a cross section of pastors. I have pastors from the First Nazarene Church in Adrian, Bethany Assembly of God, Christ Temple Ministries International. We have the Ogden Church is calling me back. Pastor Raisin Valley Friends Church, St. John Lutheran Church, Holy Family Parish, which is both churches, St. Mary's and St. Joseph's. Also Pastor Claude Bavera, and also Pastor Olivia Nicholson. They are supposed to be the ones that are going to be attending the first one. We're going to try to keep it down to 15 so we can socially distance without any problems in the chamber. So if you have any other questions, or you have a pastor that's from your attend and you want them to be a part of it, please give me a call. I'm getting all the names together for her, and we will have it finalized before our next meeting. Any questions on that?
You said, what was the time again?
The time is 12 noon to 1 o'clock. So it's a lunch hour.
Okay. I'm going to ask our chaplain, Father Jim Hugg.
Okay, and who is speaking?
Oh, this is Commissioner Pat Harvat.
Okay, good. Okay, would you do me a favor and email me or text
Mhm.
me that information with
Mhm.
his email address as well, and his phone
Yep.
number that he can be reached
Okay.
at?
Mhm.
And that would be a wonderful thing to have him attend.
Yeah,
I do have most of the pastors that I have right now are mostly males. I still need to have a couple more females. I think I have Pastor Faye at the AME Methodist Church. I haven't been able to get anyone from Second Baptist. Pastor D'Angelo, I put you and Pastor Carter on that. If both of you can attend, it would be nice, because both of you reach out, because he's at the college and you're working everywhere. So we do need to hear from you all, okay? All right. Our next thing, any other questions about the mayor's meeting with pastors? Okay. If not, our town hall meeting that we were planning, we've been looking at the schedule of how we're doing things. We're having something once a month besides our regular meeting. So we really don't have any opportunity to do anything getting close to the holidays. So I'm thinking January would be the best, January or February would be the best time to do the town hall. And I think out of the meetings that we've been having, and after the election is over and people are getting back to some more normalcy, it may be very helpful for us to be able to have a town hall in January or February. So what is your thinking, everyone? Each one of you, let me know what you're thinking, okay? Not all at once.
I'll be
Okay.
fine with that. I think that'll be a good idea to have a town hall meeting either January or February. This is Commissioner Carter.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you. Okay. And someone else?
Commissioner Ramos here.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that would be a good idea. I think that we should also put some thoughts into maybe some parameters, because
right.
I'm sure there's a lot of issues we could focus on. Maybe we should consider having more than one town hall and space them apart by maybe a couple months.
Well, that's a good idea. Because like she's gonna meet with the pastors and maybe a different group of pastors will be the next group. Since we're limiting how many can be in there, but getting them involved and they know that we're gonna be dealing with the three areas that the commission gave us, and that's homeless, uh, individuals, about surrounding in and around our community, the mental health, and also substance abuse. Those are the three things that I gave them, and I had them to come with maybe some questions or concerns and some solutions. So that's the good part, that their input will be necessary. A lot of these churches have a lot of communication with young people that are in our community, and some don't have any young people, but they also have family in the community. So the reaching out to them is really important. So I agree with you, Commissioner Ramos, that we need to probably have more than one town hall meeting. But if we get started in January, it'd be easier to do it in February, depending on the weather and depending on the outcome, outreach, how much time we spend. Okay, so I missed the comment. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. Do you have a date that we should be setting by next month, by our next meeting? And remember that our meeting is going to be the 24th of November. And at that meeting, we should have at least a idea where we want to go with the town hall. Okay, everybody? All right. Also, I did not put on this was the dates of December, our December meeting. I need us to decide tonight whether we want to have a meeting in December or we want to cancel that meeting because we have to notify the community that we're not going to be meeting in December. So it would be nice if we do it sooner than later. What's your thinking?
This is Commissioner Harvard. I think last year we did not meet.
Yes,
Right.
right.
But of course that was in person. So this is a little easier to plan on a Zoom. So I'm open to meeting in December.
Okay. Well, if we meet in December, we have the pastors meeting the first day of December. If we meet in December, the only thing is the meeting will be the week of Christmas. I think that was one of the reasons why we did not meet, because our fourth week, that's the 22nd of December. Actually, no, yeah, 22nd. So that week of Christmas is kind of hard for people if they're going to visit families. I don't know what people are going to do this year.
Right.
But it would be my, well, what else? What else? Others?
This is Commissioner Barron.
Yes.
Personally, for me, I generally visit family during Christmas time, so I'll be out of town during Christmas
Okay.
time. So I
Okay.
think it would probably be best to cancel it.
Okay. Anyone else in agreement with us having it or not having it?
Commissioner Ramos here. For as long as I can remember, we've canceled the December meetings. I seem to remember that 2 or 3 times now. I don't really mind either way. If it's better for the other commissioners that we don't, because we'll be missing like a third of them or something, then we probably shouldn't. If we're in agreement, then we'll go.
Well, I remember one of our meetings, it was 2 people there. So it wasn't Christmas, but it was one of our meetings. So I think we should just take it off the table. Is everybody in agreement with that? Let's just have a voice agreement. So each person, if you would just let me know if you agree or not agree.
Commissioner D'Angelo Boone, I agree that we cancel the December meeting.
Okay.
Commissioner Harvard, I agree that we cancel it.
Commissioner
Okay.
Ramos, I agree.
Commissioner
Yes.
Carter, I agree.
Okay,
Commissioner Barron, I agree.
okay.
Right.
Lindsay Patton, you're on. Okay. I think you're muted. Okay. And Commissioner Frank,
I agree.
Hello.
Commissioner Frank agrees.
okay. Commissioner Bernard agrees. And City Commissioner Katz, what do you say? Thumbs up, okay. All right, so we have the majority agreed that we should cancel the December meeting. And we'll start back in January, and hopefully we'll have a town hall, January or February, one of those or both months. So we'll be working on that. All right, the brochures is the next thing. The update is the brochures are finished. And Michelle, I need to ask you, how long will it be before they're printed? And can we have them printed up in time to pass out in November?
Yeah, I can print them anytime. I just need to know how many you need.
Okay. All right. So I'll get with you and the mayor, and then she'll make the final decision. Is that all right with everyone? The numbers? And what we will do is have you go to City Hall and get them. 'Cause, we're not going to mail them out and spend that money. So when you get it, once we get them all printed up, then we're just going to have you pick them up. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, HRC Commissioner reports. And what that is your area, the designated tasks that we all had to work on for this past month. And that was dealing with homeless people and homelessness, housing issues. We were dealing with mental health, and also talking about the drugs. I think it was talking about marijuana and substance abuse. That was our 3 areas. So what I'm going to do is go down the list and ask each one of you to give us a report of what you actually have accomplished or what you're working on. I know it's not been a long amount of time for us to really get a lot done. And as Commissioner Gass said, don't rush it. Don't try to, fix it in 1 month, but try to do a good job so that we can have what we need. So when we get it to the commission, that things will be working out. So we're going to start with Commissioner Ramos. If you would start and give us your report. And yours was on finding housing options for current displaced people and first federal sponsorships rather. And First Federals is named the premier now. Is it?
Yeah, it's now Premier Bank. So I haven't gotten as much accomplished in as I've wanted. I kind of had some issue getting a couple of calls going, but I have I'm setting up a meeting with Fran to talk, and we're going to talk about the home ownership loan, make sure that that's still about the same as it was, and get some more information on that. I got a couple of contacts to give me the info I need so that I can contact a couple organizations, to point me in the correct direction, find out the numbers and some of the other needs as far as homelessness here in Adrian. So I'm still in the fairly early stages, but everything's moving along little by little. Yeah.
Have you had any complaints or concerns that people have been bringing to you?
Besides the normal issues of there not being affordable housing, there not being enough of the issues with slumlords, etc., and just the stuff I've heard for years and am still hearing.
Well, I think more what we were concerned about was just the displacement of the people that were in the city that are homeless, that may need housing for this winter time during this pandemic. That's a focus that I think the commission was talking about. So not just the complaints that people are giving about their house or the issues that they have with their landlord. So we just have to focus on one segment of it, even though we do hear it all. Yeah, we definitely hear it all.
One of the things I'm
So,
having some particular trouble in is actually finding out some of the homeless students, like the actual numbers there. Of course,
mhm,
that's if you're a homeless student, you don't really want to admit that. And I know from personal experience of having a friend who was homeless for at least half of his time in high school, I think actually a little bit longer than that, that when you're in that situation, you don't want to admit it and you're not really counted in a lot of ways. So
mhm.
that's going to be one of the particularly hard ones. And I was trying to get all the numbers I can.
Okay, so let us know how you're doing. Keep us posted even in between. You can call or text or email and let us know how you're doing. Okay, Commissioner Patton, you were dealing with Share the Warmth and a therapist at Mindful Hearts Partnership and substance abuse.
Yes. So I had given you the information for the Mindful Hearts counseling, and correct?
Yes.
Okay. In regards to Share the Warmth, we have I'm starting to volunteer. We have porta potties over by Family Dollar. I've reached out to the city and Helen and some of the needs. And like I just said, the porta potty for the folks down at Share the Warmth, tents so that the people that choose not to go to the shelter, they have tents. So we're working on that. Also, when they go to 24/7, which will be in a couple weeks, I believe it's the second week in November, we'll be having activities which whomever would like to help me, they're more than welcome to come down and volunteer. We're looking for more volunteers. So like I've told you, Andrea, we'd like to post that on the city government website for volunteers to be to be put on notice. So those are just a few things that I've been working on in regards to Share the Warmth.
Okay. And you want to tell them a little bit about the person, the therapist at Mindful Hearts, what she said?
I have not spoken with her as of
Oh,
right now, so
okay.
I'm trying to go other directions in regards to substance abuse.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We
Mhm.
appreciate that. Anyone have any questions for Commissioner Patton?
I had a
Okay.
question
Yes.
about Lindsay, we had talked about making like a master list of contacts for the different organizations like Share the Warmth and Catholic Charities and that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
For a contact for each for volunteering and like a master list of needs. Kind of like I think the Humane Society does that too, where they put it up publicly like, oh, we need this right now, like urgent need kind of a thing.
Okay.
Like, is there a way that even if you just got me the info and then I can put it just like in a list so it's all together in one place, and then we can put that information out somehow?
Yeah. That I can do that.
I think that would be a wise idea to put all of the resources together, because we do have a list of at the community action agency has it. The city has options for people. So what we need to do is maybe contact all of these different places and put a list together of that we could put on. Maybe even get the radio station to announce some of the things, especially for volunteers. So let's think about that as well. Okay. Anyone else
I
have any
like that
questions?
idea, Andrea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So since we are working really hard to try to get something for the homeless people, especially with sheltering them, thank you so much, Commissioner Patton. You've been working really hard on that. You and Ashley both. All right, Commissioner Franks. Yours was law enforcement, and you were going to be speaking to Will Garcia about population information and also public health.
Yeah, Will is a busy guy with the election coming up, so.
I'm sure.
So I spoke with, I didn't speak with him. I wrote a little questions. I had sent them to you.
Yes, I have those.
For the city and specifically for the chief, but he answered he's still answering what he can, because I wanted to get like actual numbers and like what specific parks were they concerned with, crime data involving that specifically, like how big of an issue was it really, and there are some
Before
things
and
that
after.
And like how will the way they enforce change, I guess. And I did have one of the officers ask for suggestions, and I don't know if that's something that we could talk about, or I'll just put it out now and then we can talk about it and I can email him back later, about like what are suggestions that we have for them when there is an interaction or something like that, instead of enforcement. Like how can they handle it, because we don't have wet shelters. Like if someone has been drinking or if they have a substance abuse problem, they can't go to a lot of our shelters.
Right.
If they have a family, like if it's a mother and she has a teenage son, they can't go to Catherine Cobb because she can't take her son with her.
Right.
If you're working here in town, you're not going to go all the way out to Tecumseh's shelter, because if you're walking to work, because a lot of dishoused people are working. So you're not going to go all the way out to Tecumseh because you're not going to be able to walk to work every day like you would be if you were living here in town. So there are a lot of answers that are a lot of questions, but that's kind of how public service works, really. You come up with more questions than answers most of the time.
Well, that's true. But the good thing is that we are able to ask the questions to the people that can answer them, maybe, or find a way to get a solution to the problem. Because just asking the question, the officer asking, how do you think we should handle that? Well, we have some ideas of how to handle it. Yeah, we do, especially when we're dealing with people that are mentally ill, because we have people that are mentally ill that are challenged, have disabilities. So there's a lot of ways that we can have the officers, and the best way is to train them, train the officers, train them in de-escalation. I know that was part of my training, at the state police post, was to make sure that you know how to de-escalate as well as escalate, a situation. You could do both. But most of us know how to do that, just by our voice, by our body stance. Sometimes somebody walking up to you and said, get over, just the voice infraction can cause you to, spin into a different cycle. So yes, we do need to know that. And I'm so glad to hear that. some of the questions that you had, though, Commissioner Frank, were questions that we're going to leave for the town hall meeting, because they're not really involving the police so much as it would be for the community at large. So anything that the police cannot answer, and I know the chief is not able to answer all of our questions, but we're going to try to give him questions that he can answer or he can look into and find out the answers for us. The same thing with the judges. We're interested in knowing exactly the process of what people are going through right now, because things have changed with this pandemic, and also attitudes have changed. And when you have attitudes changing along with the law, or the process of the law, I should say, we do have some issues. So I did really want to hear from the young people and their concerns, because a lot of them have issues. And I speak to my children and grandchildren, especially my males, a different way than I do to the girls, because they're the ones in harm's way most of the time in any community. It's not just Adrian, but especially when you have a lot of people talking. So how are you making out with the public health area?
Looked into, what was it? I think I forwarded it to, no, Chief sent me something about how giving people assets or providing them with a means to make their own choices in that regard of like,
Mhm.
if they hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I looked into what changes happen in a city when they declare a public health emergency.
Right.
So that allows that funnels in money specifically for it would give the mayor specifically some executive powers that would be, she would be able to make decisions without that in regard to public health safety and stuff like that. So that would be the porta potties and making decisions about outdoor sheltering spaces and things like that. I'm going to look more into that. That's a whole lot of public health and legislation information to dig through. But I've looked at a few different municipalities that have done it, and it was helpful because it cuts through a lot of the red tape that slows things down. And it's getting cold in Michigan, and we need to kind of like not
Make
wait
some
until
decisions,
January,
huh? Yeah.
February. Right. We need to be able to make decisions now and not, oh, we've got to wait for the next commission meeting to decide if these people are going to be sleeping in the snow. So I'm going
Okay.
to look into that some more, because
Okay.
I mean, the pandemic is really what my concern is, because I
Yeah.
understand why people don't want to go in a shelter right now. I would
Right.
not. So
Exactly.
I'm just going to keep looking. That's a lot of digging through legislation and public health. So I'm just going to keep.
Well, I think one thing you should do is look into, talk to the health department, Lenawee County Health Department. Get some ideas from them, get some suggestions from them, because they have mostly everything written down, what the governor's expectations is for each of our municipalities. So let's tap into that, and then they may be able to give you some suggestions as to some of the things that we could be doing that would be easy to do, like maybe we pass out sanitary products, things that will help people while they're homeless. Somebody mentioned that. I think it might have been Commissioner Patton and I in our discussion, or me and the mayor, talking about possibly giving out something, and that means money, and reaching out to these different community people to help and assist with that. And that's one of the things we're going to bring up to the pastors. What can you all do, to help with this particular area? But thank you so much for what you've done. and we will be talking soon. If anybody has any concerns or questions that they want to give to Commissioner Frank, please do that this week and by the first of the week, okay? Because our meeting on the 19th will be here before you know it, all right? Okay, so next one is Commissioner Boone. And your area was homeless population, sharing the warmth, and the men's mission.
I have had a chance to meet with Helen at Share the Warmth. I've also met with Tim Ruppel over at the men's shelter. And I've talked to a few homeless individuals. And the Share the Warmth has a lot of programs that's going on. And I think the 24-hour addition that they're going to add in Share the Warmth is going to really help the homeless population, especially giving the homeless somewhere to be at during the colder hours of the day or during the times in COVID. There's a lot of things, the library is closed down where the homeless would go to. So that's going to help with that. The men's shelter program, they have some restrictions and some guidelines that they deal with. And some of those restrictions and guidelines and a part of their program have turned some of the homeless away. But the program is effective for the ones that do go into the program. So their program, they have a lot of things where they're really intentional with their program. Between Share the Warmth, between the men's program, the men's shelter, we've discussed a lot of different ideas and options that I'm looking forward to presenting. That may be some solutions that would help with the homeless problem in our community. Even one is talking to the city to see if there's in land that is owned by the city that the homeless could use as an outside shelter location where they could camp and have that as a campsite for the homeless. And that would be located in a place where it wouldn't be a nuisance to community, but somewhere for those that would like to be outdoors to have somewhere to go as an option. And I have talked with some homeless within community. Right now we've got a young middle-aged man that's sleeping on the couch outside, and I was able to talk with people in the community with regards to him and figure out what solutions are out there for him. And the community has really responded, and the Parish Park community responded to assisting him. And so with the families that's assisting him, because one family is allowing him to stay in their home for a period of time while we try to reconnect him with family in Lansing. So what we're doing to assist the food pantry itself is providing additional food for that household to accommodate their
stay. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yep. So there are quite a few. I've got about 3 or 4 pages full of ideas that I was able to jot down from the homeless shelters, and just some educational opportunities and strategic planning and financial budgeting and financial assistance and classes that could be offered to the different shelters, and even approaching different ones to volunteer at these different shelters as well. But there's a wonderful conversation that I was able to have with Commissioner Lindsay and Helen at the Share the Warmth. Just a lot of ideas that I think would be beneficial if we could assist these shelters in implementing these programs and these ideas, and really showing them the support, and even helping find some volunteers and even financial support for them as well. And then approaching the city with some of these ideas that they gave us with some kind of outside of the box approaches to our homeless situation. So that's what I was able to find thus far, and I'm going to type that up and get that situated in Commissioner Bernard. I'll get a copy of my notes to you so that they can be shared with the rest of the HRC as well. Yeah, that's what I got so far.
Thank you. That sounds good. I think the land part is something that we need to maybe talk to the pastors about, because some of them might be able to help with the financing. So let's see where we're going. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all that information. All right, our next commissioner, Harvette.
Okay. I have mental health among the children specifically, and
Yes.
look also at homelessness. So what I did was I tried to see a little bit of what's been done so far through the last few years here with the children in the public school system. And so I did talk to our sister Pat Dalka, who worked for Catholic Charities for 11 years. And she worked specifically with children and went into all of the schools here in Lenawee County. And she would work with the principal and with the teachers and also with the parents. And she said that primarily what you find in the schools is that many of these children are depressed. And so the teachers would refer these children to her, and she would see them individually, but she also had them in groups. And it was consistent. Every month they would meet as a group of children with her, and they loved it. She said they enjoyed one another. They felt it was a safe place, and that it boosted their confidence and their self-esteem. Now, she said the thing is that many, and this was in the past, she said, I don't know if it's still going on. There was a plan to help students who were homeless, that families here in the Adrian area would take in high school seniors and for that last year of their schooling, and give them shelter and help them with their schooling, and so that they would be able to graduate. She said that was a goal here of all the schools to do that. And there were families apparently that would do that. And she said, you know, the homeless, the students, like you were saying, you know, Commissioner Ramos, that they don't really always admit, you know, that that they are homeless. But there's a sense too, she said, of being homeless where you're in a one-room building, a shelter, a home or whatever, and you have a couch, and that's where you spend most of your time. And that's considered homeless because they have no other outlet or any way to do their homework. She said they're basically sitting on a couch, you know, 24/7. So let's see, I'm trying to think what else I found. But she said Catholic Charities has done a lot of good work with that. And I need to, you know, make some more contacts there at Catholic Charities. But I also want to call the principals, you know, in our public schools and get a sense from them of what's happening or not happening at this point. I think there was some very active engagement in the years past, and I'm not sure what's, you know, really happening. Let's say the last 2, 3, 4 years here in the city. So that's that piece. And then the other piece is, remember, I think it was Katie Morgan on our last meeting invited anybody that wanted to go to the Crisis Service Community Report. So I signed up for it and I attended it. It was very, very enlightening. And there were a lot of good contacts with people there, so they know who I am. And they were very pleased to know about the Human Relations Commission being so actively engaged with mental health and the concern that we have. So that was a good connection. They went over the report, which was quite lengthy, that they had done actually in Lenawee County. And it looked at the Medicaid population, which is 40% in Lenawee County. Yeah. So they had, you know, all these statistics and so on and so forth. But again, they also emphasized the mental health issue of children. And the difficulty with parents who have the children and don't have access to get, number one, to get the child anywhere. And number two, there's no anywhere to get to at this point, which I think is something we seriously as a commission need to look at and do some advocacy for that. But that's another whole story. Anyway, so yeah, I think, you know, Katie was on it. Karen Rawlings, you know, head of the mental health in the county of Lenawee, was on it. And Amy Palmer, who works for us, she's the vice president of the group. So it was just very fine, the connection. I have all of their information. If we need to ever do a presentation, I'm sure we can call on them to help with that. But it was just an initial encounter again of of trying to make these connections because this month has been crazy. But at least I have some information. I know where I'd like to go with it.
Okay.
But there's a
Good
real
deal.
concern for children and mental health, especially with COVID-19 right now,
Mhm.
especially.
And that's what changes everything. You know, a lot of the children are having problems at home, focusing because they don't have that interaction that they had before, or they're too hyper because they don't have any outlets. So we do really need to work on that. Thank you so much for your time that you've been
And it
making
was
those phone calls.
good.
We appreciate it. So keep it going. All right, next is Commissioner Carter, and you were going to be dealing with the mental health and DHS and CPS. So how did you make out?
So mainly with DHS, trying to call, mainly the only thing I really got directed to was just going online. When you go into mdhss.com, like pretty much the local one, it just has the almost like pretty much like the food, medical assistance, and different things you can sign up for, and a list of providers you can contact. And I went a little bit further as far as like from the days when I worked with Children's Protective Services in Monroe County, to kind of go that avenue. One of the ways of getting people connected like was through the 211.org and or connecting people in that manner as far as like if there were families that were involved with Children's Protective Services. And so with knowing that Lenawee County Mental Health would possibly be one of the places that if families were to get referral to, so I reached out to there and asked them about what, for the most point, outside of looking online to the services they provide, what kind of insurance that they accept, and what's the time frame of providing services to families. And so the answer I received was that they don't, as far as insurances, they really pretty much accept Medicaid, but they don't bill insurances. And so they don't bill insurance, which would pretty much cost the family. And depending on how the program is ran, if the family can afford it, what they would do with that, and if they don't provide the services, they will make referrals to other places.
Okay.
So, but that's been by far the biggest breakthrough that I've had. I can reach out to some other colleagues that I've still have still some connections with CPS, and see if there's many updates as far as like services that are provided to families.
Yes, that's very important, especially when you're dealing with this pandemic and not knowing whether you are insured or not, or you have existing conditions. So those are serious issues. So thank you so much, and keep moving forward with that. That mental health part is really coming up forward more because of this homelessness, but also those people that are in homes that are being abused. You know, so we're also having challenges with that. You know, people are dying, and people are suffering because of that. So thank you so much for your input in that mental health part.
No problem.
I'm
So
gonna.
just one additional thing. So part of the reason why I went with CPS, because 9 times out of 10, if a family cannot receive the services themselves, CPS, as far as like they will pay for it, as far as like making those type of referrals. So usually they try to go with if their family does have insurance, if it is mental health services that's needed. But 9 times out of 10, if the family can't afford it, then they themselves, the state of Michigan, should cover it because they're making a referral.
You know, that would be good. And one of Commissioner Patton's persons, the therapist, Mindful Hearts, maybe if you maybe talk with her and get some insight into the mental health part. You know, how should we handle dealing with homeless children, homeless teenagers, you know, school age children, you know, so it's a lot to deal with. But the more information that we have, the better it's going to be. And maybe one of our town halls will deal with some of these issues that we're talking about tonight. But I do really appreciate it. I'm going to skip me, and I'm going to go to Commissioner Barron. I know that we did not give you an assignment, Commissioner Barron, but I would like to know what area you would like to be working with, and I can partner you with someone in that's already working in a particular area, which area would you like to be working in?
I guess mine would be also looking at like the mental health of like college students,
Okay.
and maybe looking at housing options also for college students that can't afford to either live on campus and don't know of different options available in the county,
Okay.
and stuff like that.
That is very important because
Yeah.
a lot of students have been just misplaced or displaced or challenged because they're here. And some of the students that I know at Adrian College was that got the virus, they couldn't go home.
Mhm.
They had to stay in the dorms
Mhm.
with our family. You know,
Yeah.
those are issues. Mental illness is really something. Mental health is really coming even to the forefront because people can't change their lives. They can't get the things that they need to get.
Right. And
So definitely, that's good.
yeah, being on campus and hearing some stories of different college students that are facing some like mental health issues because they can't go home to their families because they have to stay in quarantine, or if something else happens and they don't want to come to campus and they feel like their schoolwork is slipping and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Well, I can say that the schoolwork is probably slipping a
Yeah.
lot because the interaction is not there or
Mhm.
the challenge is so great.
Mhm.
So what we will do is have you deal with the mental health and the housing issues around the college students
Okay.
instead of just the
Yeah.
whole entire community. If you would deal with the colleges, that would work because that is a separate thing. Because most
Yeah.
of those students that are housed are coming from other communities
Right.
and other states as well.
Right.
So, but I did know when they first opened Adrian College, well, Siena too, but more Adrian College, everybody was so glad to get back on campus. They were out playing volleyball together and mingling and not social distancing. I didn't see anybody with any masks on.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't a surprise that they got the virus. And then one young lady got the virus and she had a party in her room with the virus. So
Yeah.
those are challenges that address the students, but it affects the community.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize. They go to the store, they go out and about in the community. You know, I know
Mhm.
I was driving my car a different direction, so I wouldn't even be going down that street.
Right.
So, you know, because they were not paying attention and
Mhm.
they weren't distancing. And so we really do need that. And thank you so much for bringing that up because
Yeah.
that's an area we weren't thinking about. We were thinking about just homeless people and people that have
Right.
challenges out here in the community that have always been here. But this
Mhm.
college student and the difference is like night and day because they
Yeah.
don't have people here in the community that they can rely on.
Right.
Yeah.
So that may
Yeah.
be something that our pastors can deal with as well.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
we're
Mhm.
going to challenge everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for coming and bringing up that. Does anyone else have any other comment before I talk about the law enforcement in churches?
Yes, Andrea, this is Commissioner Harvard. I just want
Yes.
to affirm you, Commissioner Barron. Right before this meeting, we were reading the corporate report from Siena Heights that Sister Peg does for us.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that is one of the things she mentions in the report is the concern of mental health for the students at Siena right
Okay.
now because of COVID.
Mhm.
And I think this is wonderful that you've brought this forth. That's another
Yes.
whole area that needs to be looked at. And so tomorrow when we meet with her as a general counsel, I'm going to tell her that this came up in our meeting
Okay.
and that
Yes.
you know, are going to be assigned this. So I think it's marvelous and just not a coincidence that I just read that report before coming on here. And then
Right.
you
Yes.
say that.
And the
So
fact that you're a student there, right?
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yes. So that's
hear the
great. Maybe
story.
maybe
Yeah,
he needs to be a part of that team, you know,
Mhm.
so he can get more information. But
yeah,
I
Mhm.
really am excited about that because I didn't even think about the college students in that way. You know,
Right.
right.
uh, we lump them all together. We need to separate, just like we need to separate the school children because some of them are having some great challenges. So
Mhm.
my area was law enforcement, churches, pastors, and leaders, assisting all of you in what your challenges are. I've had good communication with uh, two of you, actually three of you, and I want more communication between our meetings to let me know what maybe challenge you may have, something that I can do, or some resource that I may have that could help you to get some of the answers that you need. So please touch base with me, even if you're texting me. I've learned to do more texting, so that's a good thing for all of us. But the law enforcement part is really something that we're going to be dealing with on next month. And when we have our meeting, I really want any questions that you have for police and law enforcement, because law enforcement is the jails, it's it even is the prison here. It is those people, families that are moving into the community, because when I came here in the prison, um, before the prison, our city was a lot smaller, a lot less people. And now we've grown and grown and grown, but we've grown with people that have challenges and people that have needs. And we have so many other things that we have, and we don't have the resources that we used to have. A lot of the businesses have closed up and moved south or moved away from here. And so we really need to address a lot of things. And I know City Commissioner Gordon, he spoke well last time, talking about don't think you can get it all done, and don't think we're the answer for all. We're not, but we can certainly do some have some effect on it. Okay, if we really try and work really hard. And our responsibility is great, but I tell you for a surety, everybody that I've spoken to, including the pastors that I've spoken to, are ready to hear and talk and get involved. So that's what we need. And now we also need, when the mayor comes, to make sure that we all actually get some funds, or at least know about any funds that we can possibly have to start doing some things, because Commissioner Patton, she's been working very hard and with the homeless shelter, and getting ideas of what she can do. We want volunteers. We want to get a list of people that are interested in doing. Some of the churches have taken and gotten some of their members to do the shelter, and NAACP has worked really hard since its opening, to get volunteers. So now we want to be able to get volunteers. That doesn't mean you have to do it. You just need to help people to volunteer, sign up to do the work that some of us can't do. Okay. So any other questions about our responsibility, our delegated tasks? Anyone?
If I could make a comment, it's Helen Henricks from Share the Warmth. I would just like to thank the commission for taking an interest, this current interest that's been shown in the homeless population. And hopefully we can work together if there's any questions that anybody has about Share the Warmth, or if they wanted to come down and see it, I'd be glad to do that. Lindsay is certainly a wonderful addition to our volunteer force. And but like you were saying, with the volunteers, it's not that you always have to do it, but you know people. And the way that we get most of our volunteers is through word of mouth. That the coronavirus certainly has affected our volunteer base, because many of them are older people, retired people, or they're caring for older or retired people.
Right.
And so they've had to step down. And so that's one of our greatest needs at this time. So I think you're bringing attention to the homeless population or people that are in shelters is going to help us tremendously. And I'd like to thank you. And thank you, Lindsay and D'Angelo, for coming down to the shelter and showing an interest.
Well, good. Thank you for
Thank
being on the
you.
call. You can have some more words in the public comments section. We're almost there. So our next thing is the commissioner's reports. We did that. Um, and does anyone have anything else that they like to speak about concerning the HRC or what our job responsibilities are? Anyone have any questions?
This is Commissioner Boone. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to add this as well as taking a look through my notes that continuum of care will be looking to partner in some capacity with the Human Relations Commission regarding the homelessness situation in our community, along with, I believe, Community Action Agency, Housing Help, and a few others. And I'm also going to be bringing it to the attention of the landlord coalition when I attend that meeting on Friday as well.
Okay, thank you. I really see us spreading out and reaching out and touching a lot of different places. Now, what we do need to do is get to the businesses in the community and get them to commit to some resources. Lindsay,
Yes,
Commissioner Lindsay, you had something?
thank you, Andrea. Thank you for bringing that up as well, D'Angelo. Yes, I would like to reach out to the businesses and give incentives for the folks down at the shelter to participate in these programs. So then my hope is that maybe this will also give the people at the businesses awareness to the shelter. Maybe they'll see the folks contributing down at the shelter and how much fun we're having, how just a snowball effect, a positive snowball effect, and that they'll want to come down and see everything that's going on. So incentives being candy bars, and gift cards or whatever they'd like to do. So if somebody would be willing to donate something, that would be amazing.
Okay, that's something that we could look into.
Okay.
I think maybe not a candy bar, but maybe something that would be a little healthier.
Yes,
But
that's,
I agree with you that we can
yes.
probably do some of that. But we really want to maybe take care of their personal needs, like toothpaste and toothbrushes and different things that people need on a regular basis to take care of their hygiene and health. You know,
Yes,
because
that
that's some of the
came to my
things
mind was
that's
a
some of the
candy
things.
bar
Yeah, I know.
because I'm
But-
hungry. But yes, I'm thinking body wash and
Yes.
toothbrushes, toothpaste, being creative and stepping out of the box so that they will be able to come down and want to participate. And the
Yes.
more that they participate, the more the more will increase the incentives for these
Okay.
activities.
Well, I think that is good, and also we need to maybe look at getting some of the businesses to partner to hire some of the people. So it's a lot that we will be able to do as long as we keep doing something and keep
Oh.
thinking about the things that we can do that will change people's lives. I know I've been talking to a couple of people that are looking into possibly getting a shelter home built in the community. And I heard Pastor D'Angelo talking about that. If the city had land that possibly they would donate for us to get a shelter built or have people on that area, because we did talk about a place in the park possibly for people to be able to shelter. But we still are moving forward and we just keeping our doors open and reaching out to people so that they can let us know what they can do and what we can do to help them make it better for the people in our community, because people are still dying. And one thing that we did not get the report on, I think the mayor has that, I don't know if Commissioner Gantz had that, but how many people are dying every day here? How many people are getting the COVID-19 virus now because the governor's her executive orders were cut down, And so now people are thinking that it's over. It's not over. It is something that we are facing and things that we have to do. And I want us to make sure that we listen to the health department. That's why I say if you have questions or concerns, they're willing to talk to you. And they have stuff listed on the website. So we do need to put something that we're doing for the community on the website. So we're going to work with the mayor and Michelle Dewey to help us to get that together. Okay. So at this time, if there are no other questions or concerns, we already dealt with December HRC meeting. It's going to be, the meeting is going to be canceled for the month. And if it is something that we need to do in December, other than have our meeting with the pastors, please let us know. But it'd have to be the early part of the month before that. And I guess we could change our meeting to be earlier than the 4th week. I don't know, but I'll talk to the mayor and see where we go from there. But I think we made the right decision not to have it. Okay. So now if there's no other comments about our responsibilities, we're open for public comment. Is there anyone else that has comments that they would like to make?
I do, if I could make a quick one, and I have a question as well.
Okay, and you are?
Michelle with the city.
Okay, Michelle, yes. I couldn't see you. Okay.
So first, I just wanted to mention again that the City of Adrian food drive is going to be coming up. So that's a food drive that we put on every year. A few of us employees have done it well, this is actually our 10th year. So we're going to put a really big effort behind it, not only because it's the 10th year, but also because of the pandemic. And we have a few ideas we're working on, and I don't want to say those just yet because I'm still waiting on confirmation. But one of them that I can mention is we're going to do a couple different things this year. We're going to do like a drive-through drop-off location, which is what I'm waiting to get confirmation on. And then the other thing we're going to do is a pickup program. So we're looking at probably a couple week period where we would offer that citizens can fill out a form online if they want to donate, and they can pick a day and time to leave their donations on their porch, and we'll drive through and pick them up.
Okay, where do you hold this food drive? Where do you put the food? In the city or where?
Where do we hold the drive, or
where do you hold the food, and where do you give it out at?
So yeah, we're still working on the drop-off location for this year. Typically, we've done it the last couple of years at the tree lighting events, but since we're not having those, we have to come up with a different plan. So we're working on a location, and like I said, once I get that confirmed, then we'll announce that and the date. And then we're going to do the pickup from residents in Adrian as well. And then the food gets distributed to all the food pantries in Adrian. We divide it up evenly, and that way it's kind of spread out throughout the community. But once I have that information, I'll send it out if anyone wants to help volunteer or promote that, or get involved. And then the question I had was about the meeting on the 19th. So is this, I'm just trying to figure out how to post this on the website. Is this a meeting where the public is invited to come ask questions, or how is it going to work exactly?
Well, we're not trying to have the public ask questions, but attend the meeting. They can attend and they can hear what the questions are that we gave the law enforcement, because we wouldn't have any way to control it. It was the first meeting that the NAACP had, that they had this different candidates to speak. Couple of them went a long time, and you couldn't seem to get them to stop. They just gave us all kinds of information. And so my thinking, let me put it that way, my thinking is that they just come on and they have access to the public hearing and listen to the MC or the moderator to control the questions, and also to listen for the answers. if they have questions, I think we have a place, even on Zoom, that you can ask the question, but the person would not be talking. They
Okay,
just would send a question to us. And if we could answer it, we can. If not, we'll get back to them. So how we word that, I leave it to the expert. And it would just be a listening more of what we're trying to get done, accomplished. That's why we wanted to have some of the young people to participate and be part of answering and giving questions to us. And I don't know if we have any that would be participating in answering, but they certainly can give us questions.
and then my
So-
follow-up to that is, as far as advertising it, I try not to put out Zoom links publicly, way ahead of meetings because that can lead to Zoom bombing and
Yes.
has led to Zoom bombing. So, another option would be to do what we do with our current notices, where we put out the information and say, go to this site, the day before the meeting, and the link will be
Yes.
there, or the day of the
Yes.
meeting. If that's okay with you, I just want to
I'm
make sure.
fine with that. It has worked, and that's exactly what we can do. And they can call in too, right? On the
Yes.
phone line. Okay. So let's
Okay.
do whatever is comfortable for us to be doing without having the challenges that I know we probably would have if we didn't, have some order. But also,
Okay.
that's why we waited until after the election, so we don't have to deal with some of the people that would probably challenge us in ways that we can't deal with. It make it bad for everyone. So yes,
Okay.
we really need your help, but we do also need it to be on Zoom. Well, it is on Zoom, but also our meeting that we have with the pastors, we would like to have on access to Zoom for that one on December 1st, if we could.
December
Okay.
1st.
Yes, because we have some commissioners. The commissioners, I don't know if that needs to be open up to the public, but it would be open up to our commissioners. But I don't know the logistics of the law in terms of them being on Zoom and not having a meeting, but just hearing the information that the pastors are talking about.
Okay, I'll probably follow up with you after this meeting. There's a planning commission meeting that same night, so it'd probably depend on what time you're looking at for that meeting.
Ours is 6 to 8.
Yeah, so we have a planning commission that same evening.
Okay.
And I can't do 2 Zoom meetings at once. Our
Okay.
account won't allow. So,
Okay. It won't
but I can get
allow
with you
that.
after this meeting. I don't want to take up
Okay.
everybody's time.
Okay, all right. Well, actually, the meeting with the with on the 19th, you're saying they have that
No,
meeting?
the December 1st meeting.
Oh, December 1st is at 12
Oh, okay.
noon,
Okay.
12 to 1. It's just 1 hour. Yes, I was thinking of the other meeting. Yes. Okay. All right. Is there any other public comments?
Hi, this is Elizabeth Salerno from Housing Help of Lenawee.
Oh, thank you for being on.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to share, because I know everybody, it's one thing we've been working at, trying to make sure that people realize what we do have, but with emergency shelter, we actually do have family shelters at our agency.
Oh,
so
okay.
any
Where
makeup
are you?
family. So we
Where
have
are you
2 of them
located?
in the city of Adrian.
You're in Adrian?
Yes.
Okay, where is your location? Well, we can find out your location later. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. So we have one that we own, and one house that we own, and then another a landlord actually lets us rent it to use for emergency shelter. And then we also have a lot of motel vouchers available that can be utilized for anybody who can't get into a shelter that needs a place to stay.
Okay.
That can be for individuals or families. So I just wanted to make sure, as far as for emergency shelter services, what we have available. We have plenty of other resources as well, but those are the main emergency shelter pieces that I know the community's not always aware that we have.
No, we did not, because we talked about getting some vouchers for the hotels and see whether or not we can get people in there and out of the cold.
Yeah.
So
and
can you
Justin
give me a
Clark
phone number
sending-
that I can call you back and talk with you about that?
Yeah. My office phone number is 517-264-0782.
0782?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your hours? Time?
I'm usually at the office anytime between 8 and 4:30
Okay.
Monday through Friday.
Okay. That time frame is very important. All right. Thank you so much. And did you want to say anything else? We really appreciate you being on.
Nope, I just thought I would share that. I just to let you all know though too, November is Homeless Awareness Month. So the Continuum of Care does have a few different things scheduled for the month of November to help raise awareness. And we're also doing a needs collection drive that'll go out to each of the shelters.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good for us to have. So we might be able to get that, because someone was asking me about picking a family for Christmas. Being able to sponsor a family for Christmas. So if we can do something like that, we would be glad to help out or get someone to actually sponsor a family. So let us know. And I will be calling you though. I definitely will be calling you. And the people that are going to be working with the homeless probably will be calling you as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that under public comment like to share? Okay, hearing no one else, do we have commissioners that have comments at this time? You all are too quiet tonight. What's up? We covered it all?
The weather.
The weather? Okay. Yeah, it's been
I
a
work
challenge.
as part of the Landems. The whole election thing has me pretty tired.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Sister Pat, you still commissioner? You still
Yes.
working hard with the sisters to get them
Oh.
to donate things and help in any way they can
We'll
while
see.
they're
Yes.
quarantined?
Right, I took some notes, so we'll see what we can do as far as, getting together some things. I'll mention that it's Homeless Awareness Month in November, so
Mhm.
that'll be good. And then we'll see about the food pickup. I don't know how that would quite work, because we don't even have, food here. I mean, so,
Well, it would be donating money and they can purchase it.
right,
You
that
know, yeah,
do. Sure.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's
no, I'll
about
keep
the only
the
way.
sisters abreast of all of that.
Okay.
I guess I'd like to just share a dream I have.
Mhm.
You know, Commissioner Boone, you mentioned the land that might, we hope would be available. It would be wonderful if we could have a piece of land that we could construct a dwelling, a shelter for the people here in the city, and to have, people working in it, and to do it, to get like the bankers, the lawyers, people like that on a board, to develop a board of directors for a homeless shelter and to get it going. And the reason I say it is because I was in New Orleans after Katrina, and that was a concern not only that the sisters had, but the people of the city had. And so
Mhm.
we got together. I mean, some, kind of wealthy people who had connections in the city. It took us a good 2.5 to almost 3 years to get it going. It is thriving at this point, thriving. And it's for women and children, because we had the same predicament. A woman with her, 16-year-old son could not go to
Couldn't
the
go.
homeless shelter. She
Right.
can't take the kid in with her. And
Mhm.
it was a problem. What do these women do then? So we specifically focused on women and children.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. I mean, that's my dream, is that I hope we could do something like that here in Adrian. Share the Warmth is wonderful, but we're bursting at the seams, it's just, and the emergency shelter is precisely that, emergency.
Right.
So if we can have more and more places, but you do need people that got connections, that
Right,
have
and
money, and can move it,
Yes.
that, and it takes a long time. I mean, I was on the board, and it took us a good 2 years, but we got some like rich people to contribute eventually. You have to convince them and all that kind of stuff, and you have all these
Yeah.
fundraisers, and we pulled it
Yes.
off. We got an old motel, and we purchased it, and we reshaped it so that the rooms are available for the women with their little children.
Mhm.
And we have
That's really
a
important.
social worker, we have a person that does the intake, you've got a nurse, it's on a bus line so that the kids can get on the bus and go to school, all that kind of stuff we were able to do. And I thought, oh, I wish we could do something here in Adrian to help.
Well, all things are possible to them
I
that believe. And I'm a believer because that's something
Uh-huh.
that I've got a couple people working on, getting something housing for families, not just
right.
people that
Yeah.
are displaced families, and sheltering outside or from home to home, trying to help that. And you have that across the street from your
Yeah.
Dominican sisters. You
Yeah,
have
we
a
started that
home that you have, what is it,
with
4
LEAC.
or 5? You have 4 or 5 different homes for
Right.
people, and that I know have stayed in your places. So
Yeah.
those are nice to have because it's small, it's easy to
Mhm.
take care of. They have a place to drive if they have a car. The
Yeah.
community even gave some of the women cars.
Yeah.
And some of the homes that have been designated as shelters for domestic violence,
Mhm.
we maybe need some more homes to try to do that because they do have boys and girls, and we just really have to think about that. Okay, so we're almost ready for our regular meeting. Is there anyone else, Commissioner, have anything else? We have some good dialogue today.
I would just like to say real quick, I agree with Commissioner Harvett, but also with here in Adrian, since we have such a large food desert, some of those should be combined with like a small convenience store. Of course,
A
this is
giveaway though. Huh?
what?
Convenience store giveaway?
Well, I mean, like here in Adrian, we have a lot of food deserts. So when we're doing these housing things, assuming we ever get to, that some of them should also have like a convenience store in building. And like right now during COVID times, that'll be particularly helpful because you wouldn't have to leave your building to go to the grocery store.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay.
Because a
That
lot of
that
people who
makes
need
sense.
this housing would have limitations being able to get places for a while.
Well, that's one of the things that we need to have volunteers to take people or pick up their food for them, because the stores are willing to bag it and you just drive up and pick it up. So that is probably one of the easiest ways to help people right now because we don't have to add anything to it. We don't have to have money for it. It already operates. It's just having a volunteer to do it. So that's something that if you have people in your church or people in your community area where you live that is willing to volunteer, we got a lot of children that want to do something. They could be the ones going with their parents and picking it up and running to the door and dropping it off. So it's a lot we could do if we really put our feet to the pedal. And I know we're ready to do that. Okay. So our time is up. It's 7 o'clock and we're going to close out this meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn the pre-meeting, Commissioner Ramos.
Commissioner Boone, I second that motion.
All right. I have all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So the meeting is adjourned. 7 o'clock and we will start. Do you need a break? 5 minutes?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Let's take 5 minutes and we'll be right at 7:05. We'll start our meeting. Okay.
Sorry about that, Chair Bernard. Had a emergency mental health issue I had to go deal with a student.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry,
That's fine.
it was pretty serious, so I was dealing with that. So I'm very sorry, but I wouldn't have
So,
gotten till 6 anyways, but then that backed me up further. So sorry.
okay. Well, we're just glad to have you on now. We accomplished quite a bit tonight. We did talk about each thing, so I will get with you and give you an update. Well, you can hear it if you
Right.
if you review it on the recording. So yes, but we're glad you were able to make it tonight.
Thank you.
We had a very productive meeting. I don't believe that we're going to need to have it at 5:30 next time, because I think we can handle it with 1 hour from 6 to 7. So when they come back, we'll talk about that. Okay, is there any questions that you might have about the 19th, November 19th?
Nope. And I don't know if Michelle told you, but we are good for December 1st. I did clear that for the city chambers as well.
Excellent. No, she didn't get to tell me that, but thank you so much. That's
Mhm.
good. And we will talk about the finalizing what we're going to actually do. I'll put something together and get with you. But we did have some good conversation. Share the Warmth was on, and she spoke, and it was really good to hear from her. She needs some volunteers, and
Mhm.
all of us could possibly volunteer or get someone to volunteer, because I know my time is challenged right now, so I won't be able to do the shelter, but maybe we can find someone that's willing to do work at the shelter and help
Did
out.
we find a date for the town hall meeting, or are we doing the December meeting? Were either one of those?
We're
we do
we're
anything
not,
else?
we voted not to do the December meeting. And as far as the town hall, we also agreed to have it in January or February. So we're
Okay.
gonna find out from you what your dates are like,
Okay.
and then we can zero down on the town hall meeting.
Okay.
And some of the questions and concerns and things is gonna come up in the meeting next month. We can also
Yeah.
put around that.
And I'll
Remember
try.
also some of the questions that came up to Commissioner Franks were questions that would be dealt with in the town hall meeting, and not bridging the divide with the law enforcement.
Mhm.
Some questions were more appropriate for the town hall. I would say
Mhm.
it like that. Mhm. But other than that, we're doing good. We're doing
Okay.
good. Okay. So we got 1 minute left, and we'll be back on.
Are you still open then, Chair Bernard, if I can get that resource that I have to possibly join us at a
Yes,
pre-meeting in November? Okay. Because I'm trying to talk to her tomorrow, so I will see if that's even a possibility.
yes,
Okay.
because our meeting will be the 24th.
Right. Okay.
Yes, we're open for that. Absolutely. Okay. All right, are we back, everybody? Okay. I will call the meeting to order. It is 7:05. And we're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and also a word of silence, moment of silence. Right, the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the
to the
United
United
States
States of America
and
and
to the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. All right. So we want the roll call. Commissioner Frank,
All right. Mayor Heath is here.
Present.
Bernard,
present.
Commissioner Ramos,
Present.
Commissioner Patton,
Present.
Commissioner Frank is here. Commissioner Boone,
Present, but you're really low.
Commissioner Barron.
Here.
Use my teacher voice. Commissioner Carter
Present.
and Commissioner Harbett.
Present.
All right. So we go to the approval of the minutes for September 22nd in our regular meeting. We did the pre-meeting already. Minutes and any additions to the regular meeting minutes. I need a motion.
I motion to accept the meeting minutes.
I second.
Question is, the minutes for September 22nd, 2020, with the motion and a second. Ready for the question and a roll call.
Commissioner. Ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, sorry. Commissioner,
Start with the
Heath.
mayor.
Yeah, Mayor Heath, sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Andrea Bernard,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramos,
Yeah.
Commissioner Patton, Commissioner Frank,
Yes.
Commissioner Boone,
Go to the next.
okay.
You're muted, Pastor. Commissioner Boone. Can you see his hand?
No.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. We'll come back.
Commissioner Carter
Present.
and Commissioner Harvat.
Yes.
Okay,
Did you get Barron?
oh, and Commissioner Barron.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right. Okay. The agenda, is there any one that would like to add anything to the agenda? Regular agenda? If not, we need a motion for accepting the agenda for tonight.
I move that we accept the agenda as we have it. Commissioner Harvat.
I second it. Commissioner Ramos.
Thank you. It's been moved and second that we accept the agenda as is written. All in favor? Let's have the roll call.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard,
Yes.
Commissioner Ramos,
Yes.
Commissioner Patton, yes. Commissioner Frank,
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Boone,
Commissioner Boone?
Yes.
oh, okay. Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
and Commissioner Harvet.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unanimous vote. All right. So our regular agenda is the current HRC issues update. So our updates are that we have spoken to each of the members to actually put in place the things that we are doing that the city of Adrian has given commissioners. So we did speak about that in our pre-meeting, and what I will do is just reiterate that Commissioner Ramos is working on housing, finding housing options, and also displacement of people that are homeless in our community, and also working with Premier Bank for sponsorships. So he's going to be working on that. Commissioner Patton will be working with Share the Warmth and the therapists from Mindful Hearts, partnering with them, and also working with substance abuse. Commissioner Franks will be working with law enforcement. She will be speaking also with Mr. Will Garcia about the population in our community, and also working with public health. Commissioner Boone will be working with the homeless population, Share the Warmth, and the men's mission. And reports have been very, very good for our pre-meeting. Commissioner Harvet is working with mental health, social workers in the schools, and also making phone contact with whoever we need her to assist us with. Commissioner Carter will be working with mental health as well, DHS and CPS. Commissioner Bernard will be working with law enforcement, churches, pastors, and leaders, and assist with all of the community information that we're working on. Commissioner Barron is going to be working with the mental health and housing of college students in our community. And we just want to say thank you to all of you for your work and what you've accomplished. If anyone has anything they'd like to add to any of these areas, please say so at this time.
I will be also working, I know that I've talked to you, Bernard, but I will be working, I have a resource that is maybe going to be presenting to us, but with a very intense program, exiting homelessness, going back into society, resources for families that are homeless, and different things like that, entering the job market. It's a multitude. It's a very huge program, and we're going to try to have her present as well to us.
Okay, and we're working on the target date of our pre-meeting on next month.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We are excited about that. All the information that we can come together with for the homeless would be wonderful, but to have a speaker that's actually working in that area and having been successful in what she's doing is going to make a great impact on us as our time moves on and we work really hard towards that. Okay, our regular meeting agenda updates. Is there any other current things that we need to talk about before we talk about November? We can talk about the things that we actually attended. Commissioner Harvet, you want to talk about what you attended
Oh, sure.
last meeting?
Yes, since the last meeting, I did attend the report given by, to the Crisis Service Community Report to the Lenawee County Mental Health Institute. That was last month, and received all of their information about mental health and what is happening basically, or not happening, I should say, in Lenawee County. and there were many, many people involved in the report. It was good contacts were made for us with them, and they're very happy we're working in this area. So yeah, it was just very good.
Great. Well, who attended the NAACP Candidates Forum on the 22nd of October, which was last week? It's 6:30. Besides me, anyone else attend that?
I did
Well,
as
what? Who is that?
Mayor Heath. I did as well.
Okay. All right, Mayor, you want to give us an update on what you felt about that, actually that meeting?
I actually was, I know Chair Bernard and I talked about it today. I was actually worried because I didn't know what it was going to be like, being that it was on Zoom, and if it was going to run well and work well. And honestly, it ran so smoothly, and it was very informative. And I just felt like it was a very smooth and well-run event. We just, the moderator did a really good job, and both candidates, were respectful of their time. And when, they were told that they were done, they did stop. And, they both gave a lot of really great info, and it was very eye-opening for me. But and I just really thought it ran very well. It was very easy to hear. It was very easy to attend. And I actually thought it was just like being in a candidate forum or debate in person. Like it felt like you were there in person, even though you weren't. And a lot of times it doesn't always feel that way, but I just thought it was a very well run and smooth event. And it was very, and I hope a lot of people attended. You couldn't tell how many people were on because it didn't let you know that. And I don't know if you know that from the NAACP, because I'm sure, you had to sign in. So I would think they know who all attended, but I don't know if you know what the numbers were, because we couldn't see that as a participant. And but I'm hoping people did, but I don't know because I couldn't see that.
Well, the one good thing about not seeing the people is that you can make your own conclusions based on the facts that were presented to you. And so I think that was a plus. You didn't have to see people making gestures or making faces or making comments. It just went very smoothly. So, and we're praying for ours to go that way next month. But thank you so much for giving us that update information of how you felt about that one. And I know that they were very happy that it went the way that it did. And we're hoping that ours will next month. All right, any other questions about any other events that we've had since the last meeting? If not, we're talking about our upcoming event, November the 19th at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. So Michelle Dewey is going to help us get things lined up so that we have what we need on that day. Michelle, did you have anything that you need us to know that we need to do or we need to prepare for?
No, I mean, it's just going to be a regular Zoom meeting, except I guess the other question I had as I listened to you talk about it more. So this is going to be like a discussion forum. And then did you say someone was going to be moderating the event?
Well, we were thinking about having a moderator because we have several speakers, and to keep them on target of time, we let them know how much time they have to answer a question. And if they're not finished, maybe someone else would want to speak on it, and then let that be done. That we don't have a long, drawn out dialogue with one person saying everything. So we're going to pretty much do like they did. At least that's in my mindset, is that we target time, 2 minutes to be able to say something, read the question and get the question out, and then 2 or 3 minutes to answer the question. And if we need to go back to that question, we can probably do that if we have enough time. But in the time that we have, 2 hours, that's going to go pretty fast when you're talking about law enforcement and you're talking to 2 judges, one that's a sitting judge and one that is no longer a sitting judge, but he's teaching at Siena Heights and he's teaching law enforcement. So criminal justice classes. And also we're planning on having the prosecutor and the sheriff, and hopefully he will bring someone with him, the sheriff. At the time, I'm not sure. Commissioner Frank, did you say we did have someone that's going to come with him?
No, the sheriff said it will just be, it'll just be him. He's not going to have any deputies with him. But
Okay.
gosh, I can't remember their names now. We'll have 2 APD officers will be accompanying chief.
Okay.
So
Yes. So
and
we'll
they're the
have the
ones that
I think
officers
it was
there. Go ahead.
I'm just
I was
saying
to
that
say, I think Officer West was one, but I don't remember the other.
it was West, and then they're in my email, I'm sure. But
Okay. Well, the most important thing is that we will have them to be able to speak as well, and answer some of the questions as guided by the chief. So that's the most important thing. And making
So for
sure
that,
that we, yes,
I was just gonna say, for that format, I would recommend then, at the beginning of the meeting, having a short introduction prepared, sort of like what Mayor Heath does for the commission meetings.
yes,
Or well, I guess it's actually our administrator that does that, but explaining what,
how it's going to
what
be
the
done.
format is gonna be, right? So
Mhm,
people don't
mhm.
think that they can, just interject with comments and things like that.
Yes, yes. That's most important because we don't want people just jumping in. But we also, you have control of their mics, right?
I do.
Okay,
Obviously, if someone starts, we do have the ability to mute them. And
okay.
hopefully, if you, make
We
that
won't have,
clear at the beginning,
we
what the
won't have
format
to
is,
do
then
it.
we won't have that issue.
Yes. Okay,
Chair Bernard,
Mayor,
I can get you
yes.
that. I can get you that statement.
Okay, that's
And
what
then
I was thinking, that you
modify
would
it as we
open it
go
up
on.
and do the preliminary and give the information to everyone. So we'll make sure that that's written out and how it's going to be addressed. Okay. All right. So any questions about our event on bridging the divide? Most of the questions are going to be coming from us. And if we do have other questions from the community, it's not that this is the last one. We could do another one next year sometime to help keep the interaction with the police department and law enforcement. But I'm very excited to hear from the judges and also from the prosecuting uh, department and also from some of the officers to hear how they're dealing with things and how they do want to have things changed. If they need to change something, maybe we have to talk about training, some of the training. So I'm very excited about that. So anyone have any other comments about our upcoming event on
Oh, I'm
November
sorry because
19th?
I missed the pre-meeting, but are you going to be asking us to give you questions and then like seeing which ones are repetitive from each other and like and
Yes,
going through those in the near future? Are you asking for those questions shortly?
yes, we've asked for the questions and we've asked Commissioner Boone if he would talk to the people that he has coming. He said he has a couple of people coming. If they have some questions, they're supposed to filter them to Commissioner Frank and to me. And I probably should include you on that. I will send whatever I have. I will send it to you if they don't add you on. Okay, Mayor. And so
Thank you.
that you're aware of the questions, because some questions that they ask will not be something that we could answer or we should answer, but it should be filtered so that we can make sure that we're doing and saying the same message, that we're not out there telling people, promising something that we can't do, or answering a question that should be answered by law enforcement instead of us. So that's the key right there. So all the questions have to be in this week by the first of the week. Commissioner Frank and I and you, Mayor Heath, will be settling on the questions that will be introduced that night. We already have a couple that she's already sent me from the city hall, the chief, but we don't have the questions from the sheriff's department yet. So we're going to get all that together. Okay. At this time, if there's be no more comments or any questions, let's open up to public comment. And the comments should be no more than 5 minutes. Do I have anyone that have any public comments? Okay. If we don't have any public comments, do we have any commission comments?
This is Mayor Heath. I would just like to remind Commissioner Barron, Carter, and Ramos that I would love to get that video out as soon as possible for the Human Relations Commission. I have the other ones and I've been working on it, but I need those other, I need the three of you to get those to me so that we can have this great video saying who we are and, you know, put the names and the faces together and get that out there so people know, you know, to contact us and they feel comfortable contacting us and finding us. And okay, thanks.
Okay, Mayor, one other thing that we talked about in the HRC meeting, pre-meeting, was the brochures and getting them printed up and handed out. What we did say is that we're going to have the commissioners to come and pick them up once they're printed up. So we will be getting with you and Michelle to pick up how many we're going to print up, okay? Just want you to put that on your thinking along with the video that we have that going out. So any other commissioner comments?
Can I
Mm-hmm.
ask the commissioner to comment on something? Commissioner Boone, can you speak on the event this Saturday that's very exciting? That the A3 Coalition and another group, I can't remember who, is putting together about putting the trick-or-treating in the, like, you can sign up for that. You know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know what they exactly called it, but I would love to get that out to the public a little bit more. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that would be under the announcement part. So we're gonna add to the announcement what you're saying, Commissioner Boone. Go ahead.
If I could defer the question to Socorro, she's one that's been Hilltop Counseling, has been working really diligent with the A3 Coalition to really put that together, and she's kind of taking the lead on that particular event. So Socorro, if you can unmute. I don't know how, if we have to unmute her or if she has to unmute.
She has to unmute. She did.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I forgot how to use Zoom for a moment.
Okay. Glad to have you.
Mm-hmm. So my name's Socorro Sevilla, Director of Clinical Services at Hilltop Counseling, and also President of the M Society, which is the new nonprofit we've launched to help represent LGBTQ folk in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing Saturday is D'Angelo had mentioned they weren't going to do trunk or treat this year just because of concerns with COVID. So we decided a safe alternative would be doing candy drops. And what had started as what was supposed to be a small area of the east side has now expanded across the city as we're getting requests to that. So anybody who would like to volunteer with and help with delivery is welcome to join us at Parish Park at 12:30 on Saturday. Costumes are greatly welcome, mask required. And so we're just taking candy drops to various kids across town, and we'd love to have you join us do that and bring candy to the kids so they can enjoy Halloween this year.
Okay.
Do you need more candy, or are you, I guess that was one of the reasons I wanted it to get discussed. Like, are you needing, I know you need people to help deliver, and I'm more than willing to help. I just wondered if you are also needing donations or what else is being needed for this.
Yes, I will take any donations of candy. I have treats, favor bags. I'm just putting together little collections of stuff. The ages I'm getting requests for are some very, very young infant kids, but I'm not trying to get as specific as that. So basically just goodie bags. So anything you think would go in that, we'll welcome.
And where do you want that taken to?
We'll be putting together goodie bags Friday night at Hilltop Counseling, and that's at 115 West Maumee downtown, Adrian.
What time on Friday?
On Friday, we'll be meeting at 4, and we'll try to keep that group as small as possible, breaking up into rooms as much as we can. Again, masks are required. I have some there if people need them as well. And we'll be putting goodie bags together to go out Saturday afternoon.
Okay, so you want to give your phone number and they can call you so you know who's coming?
Yes, they can contact me at 517-920-4080.
Okay, so that they're not just showing up. They need to contact you so that you know that people are coming, so you'll know your numbers.
Yes, and if you go to
make
the
sure.
Facebook page, I do have a volunteer sign up sheet, and will share that again on the
Okay.
A3 page and also on the M Society Facebook page.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, is there any other announcements that we need to know about?
Just wanted
Any-
to, if I can just put a reminder out there just for community that the Resident Coalition does meet. I have my calendar up so I can make sure I say the right date. Our next meeting is November 15th, which is a Sunday at 2 p.m. It's available in person and on Zoom. And we just invite anyone and everyone out to the meetings. And it's also another way to engage residents within the community and get other information out there, and as well as receive information from the community and their thoughts on what's going on. So we just invite different ones out. And one thing that we are looking at, we know that we have put off Second Fridays for the whole summer. So we are actually planning to launch a virtual Second Fridays.
Okay.
And we are looking at trying to do that in November and in December. And we are going to be putting out requests, looking to get different talents to come on. And what we will do is the talent will be on Zoom, and we'll broadcast it on YouTube as well as Facebook, and people can jump on those two different social media networks to see and to participate with the Second Fridays. And then we're hoping to, and we're going to allow, I think, about 10 individuals to come and be a part of that audience, to where we're going to station it probably at the church, which is right next to Parish Park. We're going to station it there. If the weather permits and is nice enough, then we'll look to put a movie screen outside where people can actually watch it from distance outside and participate that way. So just thinking outside the box as different ways that we can engage the community.
Excellent. All right.
Good idea.
Any other events? I want you all to remember to think about our town hall meeting. We're thinking about a date in January and February. So make sure that you are part of that. And our pre-meeting next month, we don't need to meet. I don't think at 5:30, we can meet at 6 to 7. Is all in agreement with that? We can just go back to the 6 o'clock. Is that okay? I want to hear your voices. A thumbs up or something.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay, so we'll go back to the 6 o'clock pre-meeting. And at the pre-meeting, we're hoping to have a speaker that the mayor is going to get in touch with about homelessness and what she's been doing in her community and how she has made a difference in the Chicago area. So I'm excited about knowing more information, and Michelle Dewey gave us some information about Flint and also Detroit and excuse me, other communities that are dealing with this issue and how they're handling it. So let's just jump on board and do what we can. Okay. All right. At this time, I'm going to open for adjournment. Motion.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Commissioner Boone, a second.
Okay. 30 31 minutes it took us to do this. Ha, we did it. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, so our meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody. Remember,
Thank-
we have a special meeting going on next month and we need everybody to be there, okay? And you
Thank-
can tell people to come on and they won't get the link until the day before
Okay.
or that same day. So just let people know that it won't be available until then, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care,
Thank
stay
you.
safe,
Bye.
and go out and vote,
Yes.
okay? Make sure you
Thank
go
you.
out and vote. Thank you, Miss Villa.